Well, this is my next project. Change out this sump pump. Lord, don't ask me what that ball valve is doing there on a sump pump, but some moron who had built this house had put it in there. Here's the check valve that I installed last year. It worked fine. I think it still is working fine, but every once in a while this pump just seems to kick on from time to time, so it does get a little disturbing. The pipe on the left, you got me. There's no water going down into it, but it seems to vent up upstairs towards the kitchen. So like I said, basically from here on down, this whole thing, it's really dry. It does hook up to, actually the sump pump is really for, I'm downstairs in the garage, so all the water that comes from the washing machine and the utility tub go into it. That's basically all. It's not sewage, thank God, but that's what I got here. And the one thing I am going to change out shortly is the actual sump pump itself. I got pictures of that, I'll show it to you. But basically, when it comes out of the sump pump right here, it goes up and over, and I believe it goes, the only place it goes to is the septic tank. What might have been the smart thing to do is vent it out towards the wall and out, and then go into a dry well, that type of thing, being that it's not continually going. And I think a dry well probably would have been the best answer for this type of setup, one way or the other.
I'll tell you, this is the old sump pump I removed. Another shot of it. Notice there are no markings on this, except onto the electrical cable at a Stevens Pump Company, which obviously is out of business. And this is the new sump pump I got from Supply House up in New York, and we're installing it.
Well, here we go with the new installation of this sump pump. Found out where this other pipe goes up to the roof for venting. So what I did, I already cut off the pipe and everything. I got some more, and what I'm going to do is put a vent hole in here, somewhere around here, and or a vent hole or a weeping hole, so all that extra water that's trapped in the pipe between that and the flow valve comes out and into the tub or basin. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and measure off everything and just go ahead, drill a hole, then go ahead and install it. So this shouldn't take too long. Hey folks, finally got it installed. Right now I'm running some water in the utility tub, and I'm letting that fill up, and I already did some running of the water anyway, and it seems to be holding up pretty tight. So it's just a few more screws I got to put in, and come to find out that this 2-inch pipe that I bought from Home Depot the other day I didn't need. I had some lying around from a previous install, so right now everything's looking real good. I'm very satisfied. What I'm going to do is in a minute go ahead and take the stopper out of the utility tub and see how it goes, but I think it looks very good. Like I said, I think this will work. Hang on tight for a minute. Okay, people, right now I got the water going through and from the utility tub. Looks real nice. Sounds nice too. So we'll see how this works out. I think part of the problem with the old one is that it was getting airlocked, and then it's almost 20 years old, so it was high time that it really needed to be changed. This is looking really good, just the way I want it. And basically, with all the cutting and stuff like that, it took me less than an hour to do. So basically, anybody could do this. This is really good. Very good install. And this is the old pump that came out. And as you can see, there's really no real markings, and I'm not about ready to scrape up the gunk on that. This thing, like I said, it was about 20 some odd years old, so it just needed to come out. So right now I'm trying to figure out, I don't even know where the float valve is on this. So when it did fill up, hell, I mean, when it did fill up, I don't know where the valve went that checks how much water is filled into the casing, so into the basin. So this is like total junk, but it served its purpose. I look at it this way: if it lasted 20 years or so, close to 20 years, it did its job. So it was just about that time for it to go. So okay, folks, here's the finished product. Everything's working perfecto. Be able to tighten down certain things here. I'm not even going to try to scrub the top of this basin. It's not worth it. As long as it holds the water and there's no rust. I had to get a lot of soot and debris down at the bottom, and it took me a good 10 minutes or so. It was just really filthy down there, which I could understand why the other pump might have failed, all that junk that was down there. What I did is I took 2 paper blocks about 2 inches high, put them in there to elevate the new pump, so that shouldn't have any problems with that. In fact, they actually recommend it. Also, the weeping hole, which this pipe, what I did is I used the original pipe. What I did is I had to cut it off about right there, because that's where that ball valve was. So I mean, I didn't see a need for it, and it was more or less stuck, so there was no sense in even dealing with it. So I just cut that off. I mean, there's no use for that pipe even on it, so it doesn't make sense to keep it. So yeah, I put the weeping hole in here, so that seems to work. I think it was getting airlocked, the old one. So this looks like a good install, and I'm going to relax a little bit, and before it gets too hot, cut some grass. Thanks for watching.